So I changed up my studio apartment layout again. I'll explain why later in this video. And it has left me with this big empty abyss of a wall. So I'm gonna do something that I've actually never attempted before. I'm gonna create a gallery wall. And for now, I'm going to do it only with wall art that I already own because I have a lot of it, and before I buy anything new, I want to make use of what I already have. So this will be an interesting challenge. Will this end up looking cute? I don't know. Either way, I have to try it. I just have to get this out of my system because once I hear that siren call of a decor idea, I must give in to it, even if it leads to my doom. And if you're new here, my name is Steffi and this is Hilo, and on this channel I talk about small apartment styling, cozy living, some of the more niche alternative fantasy styles, and the joys of living alone. So if you're into that, consider subscribing and giving this video a like. And before we get into it, I want to quickly thank today's sponsor, Brevo. Brevo is a marketing automation and CRM platform for businesses looking to enhance their marketing strategies and relationships with their customers through powerful email marketing, automation, SMS, chat, and customer relationship management tools. As a creative person myself, whose brain is not exactly naturally suited for the more businessy, analytical things, I can tell you that Brevo is so helpful for simplifying your marketing. Brevo will help you boost your engagement, drive growth, and reach your customers with personalized communication that will help you nurture your relationship with them. And small businesses should have a tool that helps us grow and thrive so that we can focus more on the creative side of things. At least that's what my brain needs. So if you're a business owner who wants to level up your marketing strategy and your communications with your customers, click the link in the description and use Moda Misfit 50 to save 50% on the starter and standard plans for the first 3 months. Only applicable to new paying customers. And thank you to Brevo for sponsoring this video. Now let's get started on this gallery wall. So this is the wall art I'm working with, and I need to figure out which ones I want to use and how to arrange them. You could argue that a gallery wall would compete too much with this wallpaper and end up looking too busy, but you could also argue that it could end up being a maximalist's dream come true. Sometimes you just have to try something and see how it lands. If this does end up competing too much with the wallpaper, I can always scrap this and try something else for this wall. So when it comes to this selection of my existing wall art, which I do have more of, it's just at my parents' house right now, so I kind of picked these ones out as the most likely candidates for this. And as you can see, what I'm going for here is kind of a rock and roll, vintage, groovy look, as per usual with me. And one of the things I was missing with my previous layout is it left me with barely any wall space for my music themed art. You know, the sound waves of 3 of my favorite songs, my Fiona Apple, there's also my Beck and Poe pieces, but unfortunately I think both of those are too big for this. And then there's this original piece by my wonderful Uncle Dennis, who is a brilliant artist, and he created this for me. So my wall art game is not complete until this beauty is up. And actually, as I'm looking at this, I'm finding myself wanting this one to have like a special spot where it can stand on its own. Like, I don't want it to feel like it's just a puzzle piece to a gallery wall. You know what I mean? So what I'm thinking is either hang it up or prop it up on this, which is my old desk, and I haven't decided what to do with it yet. Donate it or keep it here as kind of an entryway table. Either way, I love the idea of having this be the first piece I see when I walk into my apartment. Like, I want to be greeted by her. So that's just where my mind is at with this one. By the way, I'm planning on painting this wall and continuing the dark brown here. So imagine her up against a dark wall. Wouldn't that be stunning? Anyway, that's what I'm thinking for this very special personal piece. Now back to the gallery wall. I think this is the combination I want to go with, and before I start hanging them, I'm gonna use Canva to plan this out. So let me show you my weird little process for this. First, I'm gonna set my phone on a tripod to take a video with a straight on shot of the wall, start recording, then one by one, I'm gonna hold each piece up all in the same shot. Now, stay with me, I know this looks silly. Some people use craft paper to physically plan their gallery wall before hanging things, which is a smart method, but this is just better for how my brain works. I can't help it. So once I have the video of each piece being held up against the wall, strategically keeping my fingers out of the way, and you'll see why in a sec, I'm gonna airdrop it to my laptop and take a screenshot of each section of the video, the empty wall, and each piece of art. Now here's where Canva comes in. I'm uploading each screenshot into Canva, then I'm taking each shot and removing the background so that only the art remains, and hopefully without my fingers in the shot. Then bring in the empty wall shot, and now I can play with the positioning to get a sense of how I want the gallery wall to look. This isn't a flawless method, but it's just enough to help me plan this out and visualize what works and what doesn't regarding spacing and arrangement. And the fact that I kept my phone on a tripod in the same position without moving it, then held up each piece, means that the size and scale are correct here. I could have taken a close-up shot of each piece of art, but then I would have to guess the size and scale in relation to the wall. You know what I mean? So this is just how my mind works. It might seem overly complicated to you, which is fair, but I thought I'd show you how I'm doing it. So now that I have a plan, it's time to get this gallery wall up. I'm scared. Okay, so the gallery wall is up, and you know, it's funny, when I set out to make this video, my mindset was it'll either look amazing and I'll love it, or it'll be a total miss and I'll hate it. And either way, that's like a worthwhile video to do. And what I'm finding is that I am like right in the center. I like it, and I'm also unsure about it. I mean, let me know what you think in the comments, because I am genuinely just, I'm not sure. For one thing, I think it's very hard to do a gallery wall with only existing wall art. I don't think it's impossible, especially if you have a lot of pieces of wall decor, but it is, you know, limiting. So I don't know. I love the subject matter. Like I said earlier, what I'm going for is this sort of rock and roll kind of moody, vintage, groovy vibe, but something about it isn't just totally clicking for me. It's one of those things where I think it looks nice, but it's not giving my heart that sparkly feeling, you know? I really think that when you're decorating, The ultimate goal is to feel like you're falling in love, like you're crushing on your decor decisions. This kind of feels like I just went on a date and my feeling afterwards was like, he was really nice, but it wasn't a match, you know? I'm curious what you think. Let me know in the comments. Let me know what you would do with this wall, or like how you would tweak this gallery wall, or if you would even do a gallery wall at all. Like what do you think should become of this wall? Let me know. And in case you're wondering why I did another layout switcheroo, part of it was the, lack of wall space for wall art. And I really found myself missing the headboard against the wallpaper wall. And, it's nice to have a little bed nook situation. And then ultimately I got this idea that I could do something fun with the wall space of this big wall. And I decided a gallery wall would be a really fun challenge because, like I said, I've never done one before, believe it or not. So in case you were curious, that was the sort of decision-making process for going back to this layout. Honestly, I may even go back to layout number 3. I don't know, this is a process, and this gallery wall was another step in the process of decorating my studio, and it's only gonna evolve from here. I might just scrap the gallery wall concept altogether. We'll see. Like I said, let me know in the comments. Do you have any ideas? What would you do with this wall if you were me? How would you tweak this gallery wall? And then in the meantime, I'll just be living with this as is and let it sort of sink in and see what ideas come to me. And I'll get to the bottom of why I'm underwhelmed by this. I literally just put this gallery wall up like a couple hours ago, so it's brand new to me. So that's probably part of why I'm just like, I don't know what I think about it. So I am just kind of in a state of confusion. And I guess that's the reality of the styling process is, nobody talks about how many phases of confusion are involved. It's like any creative process. There's a lot of ambiguity and confusion to deal with. So that's where I'm at. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And if you want to see my whole process for choosing a layout for this studio, watch this video next. I tried 3 different layouts, as I've already touched on, and you'll be able to see the thought process that went into that. So if you live in a studio or really any kind of small space, it might give you some ideas on arranging your furniture. So give this a watch next.